idea is like, you as your big self, like, big Tim, you make sure that all these different parts are getting along and that they all are getting the attention they need. And if you give them attention, they give you more space generally. It's like the child part for me acts up when I'm not giving him enough attention. But if I give him sufficient attention, it's not like he's bothering me every day, this is all another way of saying these feelings we have that make us uncomfortable and that we run away from, they're coming up for a reason. They're not just like, oh, I feel terrible. It's unexplainable. I say stuff like that. Well, I used to say it a lot more, but like, I don't know why I feel terrible. But the truth is there is a reason probably, it's not just a random feeling. It's pain from something. And if we look at it, we can come to better terms with it, and we can like literally befriend it. You can literally befriend it. To give another quick example, because I totally agree with you, Tim. I think IFS is fascinating and there's a bunch to learn. And what's great too is there's a bunch of like videos of Richard Schwartz doing this with people, and it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. Some of the different stuff that comes up and the stuff they work through. But like, I mentioned I had like a gardener part, and this gardener part was like when he first came up in my mind, and this is while I was doing therapy, with my therapist, in kind of like a hypnotic state. It was like this man who looked like a straight person with like a big beard just screaming. And I was like, I told my therapist, I was like, I'm so sick of this guy. He's just like, he's just wrecking everything. He's belligerent, he's a jerk, and my therapist, who's trained in IFS, she's like, well, ask him what he wants. Like, what does he want? And I'm like, well, I can't ask him. He's belligerent, like what, like, and then like, we just were working on like me asking him, just listening and like, and so finally, like I really listened, what do you want? And he was basically, I want people to leave me alone. I want space to be my own, to do my thing and not have people trampling on my land or trampling all over me. Like he wanted space. He wanted space to garden or to be creative, to live his life creatively on his own. But if he's interacting with too many people, if too many people are trying to interact with him, he takes it very personally and gets very angry. He just doesn't want to deal with it. And I was like, oh my God, this is totally a part of me. This makes so much sense. And so now I like virtually never have issues with that part, with that, like, it's like, I get it. You want space, And I used to have poor boundaries where like, I would allow people to be in my face too much. And like, I'd be too accommodating and I basically didn't give myself the space I needed to do my own thing and to respect that I wanted to be alone more than I was, and that like my creativity, a lot of it was dependent on having time alone and not being bothered and not being social and not doing family obligations. I could do those some of the time, but like when people were being too overbearing in my eyes, it hurt me and I got belligerent and angry. And that was all me. And so that's the gardener part for me, and all of our parts are like this. They're telling us different things, and our relationships with them change. And it's cool. Like the gardener part who's super creative can talk to the kid who's super creative, for instance, something like that. So a ton to explore. I can send you links, if you're looking for a place to start. But yeah, IFS is great.